Hi everyone, so I'm going to keep this training short as I can and dive straight in. So this is all about goal setting, having bigger reasons around goal setting, and a different take on it from what we would usually use. So as you can see the screen here, how, what, and why of goal setting. Do we need goals? Do we need to have something set? Well, I'm going to say yes for the purpose of this because as humans, we are goal oriented, whether we like it or not. We like to know where we're going. We like to have almost like a compass to follow and a direction. And it's when we don't have this that we start feeling a bit down in the dumps, a bit depressed, a bit anxious, and not really sure, in a bit of a rut, really, where we don't know where we're heading towards or where the final destination is. So that's why it's important that we have goals. So we've got human needs and goals, fulfill them. How is best to set them? Well, I'm going to use this. I've taken some bits from my coach, my mentor, and I popped them on here as well, and just added my own little bits to them. So I sent an email out a while ago about SPIRE goals, SPIRE, and each one has got a word and a meaning towards it. And the concept behind this is that with SPIRE goals, and when you set them, there's different levels to it and different areas to it, and it becomes like the whole meaning of health and well-being is in this. So the first bit is the S, which is the spiritual well-being. So, and that's not like a fancy hippie-ish sort of thing with spiritual, sitting and meditating. What gives me purpose and meaning? That's a really, really big question to ask. And you might find by answering these questions that you end up creating your own little goals. So what gives me purpose and meaning, and what values will make me move forward? So the end bit is what are you going to be following each day to make yourself a little bit better, to stay in line with? What gives you purpose, a sense of satisfaction, sense of purpose and meaning in life as well? You can end up having one big goal for all of these, or you could have 5 little ones for each section. Second one, physical well-being. So how do I cultivate a positive regard for my body, treating it well, and being aware of the innate ability of the body to affect the mind? Simply put, what are we going to start doing to look after ourselves more? How are we going to look after our body more, that we feel better, we have a better headspace, and we're more in control of our thoughts and our headspace? Really important one. And we all know by exercising, we feel better. And that really is what this last bit means, that once we exercise more and start looking after ourselves more and holding ourselves and our bodies to a higher level, then it does have a massive effect on our mind. And if you're never sure on what goals to set, because people always pick marathons, half marathons, 10Ks, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to spend 5 weeks in the plank position, then have a think about this and just how can you start looking after your bodies a little bit more? Not necessarily thrashing it around a marathon, or I need to be able to do this, other people are doing this, I need to be able to do this. What can you start doing to look after your body more and to use that as a motivator, if you like, or reason to keep going? Again, you might have different answers for each one. Intellectual well-being, a little bit different. So basically learning, challenging yourself and pushing yourself on always trying to learn something and do better and better yourself. Relational well-being, how do I contribute to and benefit from the people around me? No less important, what are the ways I foster a healthy relationship with myself? This second one is absolutely huge. How can we start learning more about ourselves and building the relationship between how we think and how we feel and how we see ourselves? Because this has a huge importance on this. So have a think about that. The easiest way to sum this one up is other people are going to get a lot more from you once you look after yourself. And by doing that, it's going to tick off the first 3 on there as well. So what ways can you start learning to like and understand yourself a lot more? And how do you contribute and benefit, or how would you, if you set this target to the people around you? How would you benefit them? And the last bit, emotional well-being. So again, going back to headspace and thinking and mindset, how can I increase pleasurable emotions and cultivate resilience to deal with painful emotions? How can we get better at dealing with things that try and throw us off track? and what can we start doing to replace the negative thoughts, feelings we have into positive emotions. And hopefully just thinking about those, and don't just look at these and think, God, that's more work I've got to do, or that's just stupid. It's really not. You could have 5 individual goals for each one, or you could have one big thing which is covered by all of those. But really important just to have a little think into those. The next bit is having a focus. So it's up to you how you work, but don't let yourself off the hook easy with this. If you know setting big goals like this kind of hinders you, then do it and just keep looking at them now and again, and just keep yourself on track and keep moving forward. You don't necessarily have to stick with everything on here, so you don't have to go, right, I've got 5 things here, I need to commit to them and start doing it every single day, no matter what, even if I start thinking I want something else. These are all malleable in the sense of that if we're not enjoying the process, we can change things around and set new goals. It's not an opportunity though if we're nowhere near it and kind of falling off it from our own mistakes, just to think, oh, I'll just change it around. So by all means, have a really, really clear focus on this and work really, really hard on it. If you know you don't work best like that, just have these in mind and just keep thinking about them as you're trying to move forward and progress. Now, as for timeframes, I'm just going to flick over and go on to this. We've shared this with people before. If you want it, let me know. A little bit more in depth if you like this. So we've got your ultimate reason why, so your values, your standards, one of the spiritual questions, and then you've got your goals and your targets that you want to set and some deadlines and times on there as well. And then we've got checkpoint, 1 month and 6 months. That's purely so you can just check in even after 30 days, because January is statistically the hardest month to keep things going. So we'll check in after January. You're still doing okay? Good, let's kick on. If not, change things around. Same with 6 months, halfway through the year. Do we need to change things around? Where are we heading? And then in here, you've got your quarters. So what you want to be doing. So I've just popped 2 things in here. 10K in February, and then the second quarter to get into cycling, and you can fill it in. This is all, again, malleable. It changes. If things aren't going well or things are going better than expected, we need to change around the next bit and the next bit. And this break down into 30 days, 1 month shorter term targets. Sheet 2, nice and simple. What can I get done every single day as a non-negotiable, as the basics, no matter how busy, how crappy the day gets, that I can still hit these. This is important. The better we can get at doing this, and this resilience to deal with painful emotions, then you're on to a winner. If you can keep doing the same, even just 2 or 3 things every single day for the next year, that's a lot of tasks you've ticked off and a lot of progress you'll get from that. Any questions on these, let me know. Spire goal setting. Have a little think about each question. We're going to start doing more on this as well next week, next weekend, which is the 7th and the 8th of Jan, and going over in depth a bit more goal setting and planning for the year ahead. Any questions, let me know. Here's a quick review. If you want this sheet, then let me know. If you want me to send over the questions again on the Spire goals, then I can.